Here in line chart video 3 for gasoline, we are going to go ahead and make a line chart for the price of gasoline for the past year. Now, a line chart is very useful when you want to show change through time. And you can see here on our x-axis, we begin taking a look at the prices October 2019 all the way through September of 2020. And so the line shows how things change over time. And it's a useful way to tell a story, to find interesting points through time that may have occurred with respect to the data that we are plotting. So in this line chart, what we see is a dramatic decline in the price of gasoline in the month of April of 2020. And some of you may ask, well, what happened during that time frame that may have caused that to happen? And what happened is that demand for gasoline went way down. Why did the demand go down? What's the story behind that? Well, many of you will recall that schools closed in March of 2020. So a lot of people were staying home, people were not traveling, and therefore the demand for gasoline went down, and with the low demand, the price also went down. We have our main title, price per gallon for regular gasoline. We have a subtitle indicating the time period. And we've got a nice thick line. We've placed our data labels above the points. We've made the low point a little different to highlight it. We used a square instead of a circle. And then we've also put the color in red. Let's take a look at how we do this. The first step is to go to your worksheet and compare your numbers to my numbers and make sure they're the same based on what you did in video 2 in entering the price per gallon during this time period. So pause the video and make sure these numbers are the same. Ask me any questions. You can verify my numbers. Maybe I've got a couple that are off. And let's make sure we all have the same values for the price of gasoline. Next up, we can go ahead and make this a little smaller. We really don't need that right now. I'll set that off to the side. Let's create a line chart. I'm going to go ahead and select the heading along with the values. Insert, chart. Before I place this chart on its own sheet, I'm going to go ahead and get the labels for the x-axis. Chart editor, setup. Select the data range. I'll click on month and then grab all of the months. And there they are on the x-axis. Now I'll go ahead and place this on its own sheet. And there is our basic line chart. Months on the X, price on the Y. Here's our title. Let's go ahead and format that title. Edit chart. Setup. We have a line chart selected. If not, make sure you do select that line chart. X-axis, confirm as month. The series we just plotted is the price per gallon. We don't need to add a series. We're just going to graph one series of data at this point. Customize. Chart and axis titles. Let's do the chart title first. Price per gallon, regular gasoline. Let's make it bold. Center alignment. Font size 30. Text color black. Next, let's put in the chart subtitle. October 2019 through September 2020. And once again, we will make that bold, place it in the center. Let's make that size 24 and black. Horizontal axis title. We can make that bold, place it in the center, and let's go ahead and leave it small because it's obvious that the horizontal axis are the months that we are plotting. And we'll make it black. Vertical axis title, once again, we will leave that small, make it bold. Leave it that same size, make sure it's black. Next, let's move to the series, which would be represented by this line. Confirm price per gallon. Color, we'll go ahead and leave it blue. Let's leave that line type as a solid line. But let's go ahead and change the weight or thickness of that line to 4 pixels. We want to leave it on the left axis. Let's go ahead and get a point size of 7. Keep it the circle. But then let's go ahead and pick a data point to highlight. Format data point. Let's click Add. Select the data point. Let's go ahead and get April. That was the low point. Let's make that one red. And then let's format that data point as a square instead of a circle. And then make it a little bit larger. Now we could add data labels. We want value, position auto, which is above. If we wanted to adjust that, we would click here, as we did with the bar and column charts. So we could move those around, but we do want that to be right above. If you want to change your font type, you can do that. Font size, let's go ahead and make those 14. Bold. Let's take a look at our chart. Titles look good. The series. We need to do something here with the x-axis and the y-axis to make these labels stand out a little bit more. Let's go ahead and start with horizontal. Bold. Let's make sure it's black. Let's change that font size, make that a little bigger. Let's make it 14. And then vertical axis. Let's do the same thing. 14, bold, black. So now we have a pretty good looking line chart. I now have the one that includes the square that I forgot to format the first time through for this video. So compare your chart to this one, make sure all of the elements are the same, and then have me come by and take a look at it. And that will conclude video 3 for the gasoline line chart.